as Connie was talking and as you were like reviewing over what Slim Thug had said, I started thinking about what I talk to my couples about is that every couple needs to rewrite their own blueprint that makes sense for their dynamic and their needs. And I think that based upon what Slim Thug is saying, I wonder if it really highlights what he values, right? And
Yeah.
so and so I think that that's the perspective. I think there's a lot of meat that can go into this instead of just making a huge blanket statement on like can a woman, what was the question again, so I could.
Can a woman display feminine energy, acts of service, while being the breadwinner?
Yeah, I think that that's a conversation that two people have to have. I think that you shouldn't get into a relationship without asking these questions. What do you bring into the table? Or like meaning not even financially what do you bring into the table, but what do you want to do, in this relationship? What works, right? We have a whole house system that has to work if if we're getting married. Like, right? We have a whole house system that needs to work. What's this? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses, right? Because I remember my pastor back from in Beaumont, Pastor Adolph, he said just because you're the man doesn't mean that you can handle the finances. Whoever is the best at balancing the finances should be the one that's over the finances. And I think that when you start capitalizing on people's strengths instead of an expectation of what you should be doing this because you're a female, no, that's might not be my strength, right? That might not be my strength with that, right? And I don't think that that is the case where a woman cannot be in her feminine side or show her feminine side based upon because she is a boss over here, that she can't shift roles when she comes home. The expectation and her role is totally different than being an entrepreneur and having to delegate and do a lot of other things. I think her roles change, and I think that people have to be mindful of that, right? I think that you can't make a blanket statement like that and think that every female that's an entrepreneur cannot shift when they come home.